Now, I don't want to speak too soon, but two recent headlines made me wonder if developers are actually learning from their past mistakes. And quite honestly, you won't believe who I'm talking about this time around. Up next. What's going on, guys, and happy Halloween! It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So, I think it's safe to say the gaming world is all over the place as of late, and this is all with more bad stories coming to the surface than good ones. We've covered countless delays, layoffs, cancellations, and the list goes on. But today I came across two stories that I wanted to put on display, and that's all to kind of get this conversation going. Now, to preface this all, the two studios that are involved leave a lot to be desired as far as trust goes, mainly because we're talking about EA and Ubisoft. Now, those two studios alone account for a lot of problems that exist within gaming today, so it's weird to see them, hopefully, maybe, take the right steps forward. Up first though, let's chat a bit about EA and the franchise that has been a hit for them this far, and that's being Apex Legends. So during a recent earnings call, EA CEO Andrew Wilson was asked about the future of Apex Legends and where EA would want to take the game next. And one of the questions that was posed to them was talking about launching Apex Legends 2. To that, he replied, quote, "What I would say is that typically, what we have seen, again, in the context of live service-driven games, at scale as the version 2 thing has almost never been as successful as the version 1 thing. And so actually, the objective right now is to ensure that we are continuing to support the global player base that we have, and deliver the new innovative creative content on a season-by-season basis, as well as build on other things. But build on them in a way players don't have to give up the progress they've made or the investment they have put into the existing ecosystem." Now, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm gonna have to agree with EA here. More often than not, we find that live service titles like this launch a second entry, which I really don't think is ever needed. Recently, we've seen a game like Overwatch 2 launch to rather lackluster reception. And the goal of these style of games overall is to constantly evolve on the central platform they exist on, negating the need for a number 2 or a number 3. Plus, going off of what he said here, it looks like EA fully intends to build off the framework they currently have and innovate on it. So this brings me to the next half of this video, where I talk about Ubisoft, which has been a rather hot button issue as of late. They've made countless mistakes in the past, and more recently I'm talking about that whole Prince of Persia thing. But today a headline did come out that kind of gives me some, I don't want to say the word comfort because we are talking about Ubisoft here, but that's the only word I can think of, so we're rolling with it. So anyways, Assassin's Creed Shadows got delayed earlier this year. And when that news came out, I said there was so much riding on the success and launch of this game for that team. Star Wars Outlaws launched and kind of fell flat in the public eye. And according to the Ubisoft Chief Corporate Finance Officer, Frederick Druget, that might have been the exact reason why they delayed Shadows. Quote, "We wanted to make sure the delivery of the experience is impeccable on day one. So that was the purpose of the decision. So we have good visibility for the game to be delivered with a great experience by mid-February, and with great quality. On the back of what we saw with Star Wars Outlaws, we need to really make sure that we come up with an impeccable player experience on day one. Of course, there's always some bugs, but we've been focusing and we're continuing to focus on making sure that the day one experience will be well optimized." And to add some context there, Star Wars Outlaws really struggled to get to that 1 million copies sold like Ubisoft would have hoped. And apparently the Shadows delay now apparently cost Ubisoft an added $21.7 million of development cost, which again adds to the pressure that this game needs to hit. It sucks to see this game in such a precarious perch, but that's the way game development goes nowadays. And outside of all that just being a problem for Ubisoft, this should have never been the case in the first place. Fans gave constant feedback over entries like Origins, Valhalla, and Odyssey, more recently Mirage, and yet we find ourselves holding our breath here for Shadows, because arguably this is the Assassin's Creed game longtime fans of the franchise have been hoping for. So long story short here today, two studios have at least publicly acknowledged their past wrongdoings or took note of what doesn't work in today's gaming world. And as I always say, execution is always key on all this. And again, we are talking about EA and Ubisoft, so in that case, I need to see it to believe it. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass this off to you guys. Are you guys feeling confident around Assassin's Creed Shadows? I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50. I could see this going horribly wrong, or I can kind of see it going well. But that about does it here. I've been K-Lo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been The Level Up.